are going to discuss this afternoon. Hello and welcome to the Shielded Prepper. I am again in my car. It's a little blustery outside, yet it's okay. It's beautiful and it's warm. And I cannot help yet to see the severity of so many things that are happening right now, and now some of them are domestic. It's growing and growing, specifically connected to this hurricane. Hurricane Helena is not being reported, and this conversation has less to do with what's happening all over and more to do with ensuring that you understand who your circle is. And we talked about this on the last live, and I intended on rather picking up on it and going a little deeper on it. And it's very important for us to understand how to be mindful of our surroundings and to be really intentional about the relationships that we have. There's three types of friends: those that, or people in your world, those that understand your public life, those that understand your personal life, and those that know your private life. The public one is really quite easy. Right now, we have a public relationship, and as we continue to speak together, you will begin to know a bit more of my personal life. Yet it's the private life that we have that is very small with the amount of people that we really let in on our private private life. These are the little things that make each of us extremely individual. Carlos, hello. The Squatch is live. Side Hustle Survivalist is on. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. These three things. Right now, what's going on with this hurricane, and we don't even have all of the information. I mean, gosh, if you guys haven't followed Glenn Beck's today's posting from Glenn talking about this hurricane, it's not being reported. We have an expectation for ourselves. We cannot trust the mainstream media to really give us authentic numbers. And obviously, this story is still developing. If you agree with that, I mean, put a 1 in the comments. Yet this story is still developing and it's not being disclosed. It's significantly worse than what we're being told, right? It's very important to understand what's going on domestically. And right now we have this election that's coming. It's coming closer. There's this tightening that's happening. There's almost a reduction in certain kinds of information and an expansion in others. And today when I was listening to Glenn talk about what's not being reported, and a lot of other YouTubers are doing this, we have to seek out information that offers a bit more clarity, specifically tied to numbers. And numbers are important. They tell a story. What's being reported mainstream and really what's happening on the ground are two different things. FEMA is broke. Why is this important? Because catastrophes can happen at any time. Obviously, they knew this one was coming, and the people there are going to suffer for an extremely long time. More people are going to lose their lives. So many are without power right now. This is just the beginning. The death toll is probably going to be significantly higher. Much of what's being reported are the confirmed dead. Yet there's also the unidentified that have passed away, that they have not confirmed who they are, yet they're holding them right now, and this number is going to increase. Why is this important? Particularly understanding what's going on in our surroundings and domestically right now, this is a great opportunity for a distraction to happen, a distraction to push us in our awareness of what's happening, specifically tied to this election that's coming up. This is a big deal. If you're not registered to vote, I'm sure you probably all are. Anyone who's going to be listening to this is probably registered to vote. Yet we've got to make sure that we're participating because we don't know what's going to happen. The last election, we felt very confident. We knew what was going to happen. Didn't happen. It changed, didn't it? And it's been a really interesting almost 4 years. It's almost been like there's been this holding back of the country, and there's been all of these major mistakes that have happened both domestically, specifically tied to the border, and what's happening with the quantity, the volume, the massive amount of people that have entered our country. Not that all these people are evil, yet they should not be here, and they've been allowed to come through quite easily. Quite easily. Come on. We understand quite easily. It was much more difficult 4 years ago for them to enter the same way. Yet not only have they entered, it's the value of their risk to come here, to be able to come in, to be able to enjoy much of what makes this country profitable and important, and why being a U.S. citizen is so special. It's so special. And they see that, the whole world sees that, and they're looking to change the way the United States functions. If we are able, with a stroke of a pen, to send $1 trillion overseas to a war in Eastern Europe, why is FEMA bankrupt? Why don't they have adequate resources, and why aren't they getting their butts in gear? What's going on? Why is this happening right now? Why is it happening right now? I mean, some of the numbers, I don't know if these are absolutely correct. Yeah, they're talking 900 at one location that was hit because of this hurricane that are unidentified, deceased. And then what's happening overseas in the Middle East and in Israel, specifically connected to this war that's brewing. This is just starting. This is not going to end just with DJT coming in. This has a much larger story, and why we have to be mindful here right now about our surroundings, and also the relationships that we have right now are very important, because of the three things that we started off of: our public life, our personal life, and our private life. Those that we are allowing into our circle right now are very important. And I'm blessed. I really do feel that. And if you believe you're blessed, put it in the comments about the people that you have in your life. I've really built some new relationships here in Oklahoma. Hey, Red Rock Canyon Adventure Park. If you haven't visited our YouTube channel, Red Rock Canyon Adventure Park on YouTube, come subscribe. I'd really like to take you live in the park on that channel, and we have to hit 1,000, and I think we're just right around 700. So if you would like to follow a new interesting channel and see what we're doing here at the park, you got to come join us. Aside from all that, yet getting back to what we're discussing, this war that's brewing has been spoken about and prophetically decreed in scripture that it will not cease. There will always be tension. There'll always be tension there. And it goes back to a lineage thousands of years ago. And it will continue, and it's increasing. And I don't know if you see it differently, yet I don't see it decreasing. It's only going to increase. It has to. It has to, because it's ushering in next steps here in our country. Public life, personal life, private life. Make sure that you're seeking relationships that can support you. And not just financially. I'm saying supports you in your time of need. If there's ever a situation that can happen domestically, similar to what's happening with this hurricane, it is going to be extremely valuable for you to know who you're surrounded with, and who's in your surroundings. How you can leverage, because these population centers that have been affected by this hurricane, this is a natural disaster. If there was an intentional disaster that happened for some reason, something happened, you know what I'm saying? Right now, the United States is encouraging Israel not to strike any nuclear targets or targets connected to any nuclear thing, because this is going to escalate things. And Israel they have to make some decisions about what they're going to do next. They're too deep in. This war it has to continue. It's too deep. There's been too much offense that's happened, and they are going to handle it. They're going to handle it. So much so, the last story that's been really interesting, how quickly it was solved. And it was such a huge ask. These longshoremen on the East Coast, all of these unions connected, and this bargaining and this renegotiation of these contracts and how quickly it was solved. It almost seems like it was there by design, like it had been put into motion soon, because it was solved right before this great, big, huge, massive election. Can you see that? So much so that these union bosses, the wealth that they have taken, the wealth, I'm not sure, I had a call coming in there and you saw my big finger go bloop, bloop, bloop. The wealth that has been taken through these unions is really quite significant. And they were able to achieve so quickly, just through the rumors of these strikes, this bargaining started happening and boom, it got solved in such a short amount of time. And these are massively important unions domestically here in the United States. And it allows everything to operate here. Can you imagine how valuable our ports are? The staff that run our ports, the equipment, and all of the inbound freight that goes everywhere. It's very important for us to understand how to bring relationships into our life that don't know us just publicly, rather than know us personally and privately. If you don't have strong relationships right now, this is an important and valuable thing. This is an important and valuable thing. Find those that you know, love, and trust, and increase your relationships right now. And if you haven't spoken to family or friends that you trusted in the past, call them. Re-engage with them. It's going to be really important. You never know who you're going to bless by choosing to be bold and just reconnecting. Men ties right now, these ties are very important for us privately and personally. We're watching what's happening, and what's coming here shortly could be an awesome blessing. Yet even if it's a blessing, it can be fraught with challenges. I know, based on the last live that we did and the support and the gratitude that was shared through the comments, I truly value that in such a personal way. Thank you so much for all the comments. I was intentional to at least attempt to respond to as many as I could. There was hundreds and hundreds. I really appreciated that. We are going to continue here through this park, through this channel, to continue to send outbound information without having to repeat and regurgitate all of the details that we can find on YouTube. Rather, just a reminder that we must ensure that we are seeking the right information, that we're not just watching one, that we're looking to understand really what's happening. And you don't have to take it all for granted. You don't have to take the first thing you hear and believe it. Be a bit skeptical right now and have great integrity. Look to do the next best thing, to make the next best decision. I know for us here at this park, this is a very important season of time. And I know it is for you, because I responded back to hundreds that they align with that. This is a very serious time for both of us. Make sure you're expanding not just your public relationships, rather your private and your personal relationships. Expand them. It's going to bless us. It is preparatory in some respects. And if you don't have a lot of money, look to offer value of friendship and not look to take, rather to give, to contribute, to uplift, to encourage, to mentor. If you're elderly right now, who can you help? Mentor them, coach them, prop them up. It's a valuable thing, and we're really called to do it. It's the dynamic of family, isn't it? I appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. This wasn't designed to confuse you on details, rather to give you just some quick awareness of how important it is to see the things that are happening. And if anything different was to happen that was intentional and not just a natural disaster, or if there was to be something that happened in a kinetic or hot situation here domestically, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Expand your private and personal relationships right now. Bless you guys. Appreciate you. Shields up. Put them up. Get them in front of us. And the shield first is of faith. Faith that the Father can bless us, that when we pick up one element of our spiritual armor, that shield is what we're called above all to hold up. So 1, start with faith. 2, shields up. These are the other things around us. Today it's connected to relationships. Start sowing into them. If you agree with that, send me a comment. Tell me how this may be important to you right now. For the hundreds or potentially thousands that'll watch this, we're going to keep it coming. Shielded Prepper is out.